Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to 10X, time to level up. Hey, you are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast, coming to you from the Big Dog Construction Studio in beautiful downtown Springfield. Robert Farrell here, certified 10X coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, hey, you are listening to the Wellness Upgrade on Elevate Springfield, where we're going to bring you specific strategies to help elevate your health and wellness. Hey, if you're not elevating your health and wellness, you're not going to be able to elevate in all other areas. This is the baseline. You know I'm passionate about it, and you know that's why I brought this segment to Elevate Springfield. We want to thank our friends over at Shudo Kan Karate Club here in Springfield. Sensei Dennis and his team, over 50 years in the Springfield area. Traditional karate, teaching self-discipline, confidence, community. Traditional, powerful, real. That's Shudo Kan Karate Club here in Springfield. Check them out. ShudoKanKarateSpringfield.com. We get right to our guest after the break.
When I first walked into Shudo Kan Karate Club, I was just looking for a way to get stronger, but what I found was so much more. Here we train in traditional karate, the real stuff, passed down through generations. Every punch, every kata has purpose. I've learned self-discipline, confidence, and how to protect myself. Not just in class, but in real life. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being prepared. This is more than a club, it's a way of life. Join us at Shudo Kan, traditional, powerful, real. Ki-ai!
All right, and we are back for another edition of the Wellness Upgrade, brought to you by Shudo Kan Karate Club. And speaking of Shudo Kan Karate Club, you might recognize this gentleman with me. He was in 6 months or so for a full episode, so hey, make sure you go back and check that one out. But we've got Sensei Doug Dennis from Shudo Kan Karate Club right here. Mr. D, how are you doing? I call you Mr. D. I call you Doug. I go back and forth.
D.
I don't know why I always dip back into Mr. D.
Everybody says, where did Mr. D come from? First of all, my name's Douglas Dennis. And since the second grade, teachers and everybody got it backwards, okay? I had a black belt by the name of Tim Griffin. Some of you know him from the community. And he goes, well, we got Mr. D. And back then, there was a action movie and series, and they had Mr. T. Now, how I jumped from a monster action character with all kinds of muscles to a skinny guy, got to Mr. D,
Right.
It stuck.
Right.
And so now I don't have any of those issues. It's Mr. D at karate, Mr. D on 4 continents, Mr. D at CACC, where I'm celebrating my 11th year teaching building trades.
There you go. Well, folks have been seeing a lot of Shudo Kan here on the podcast here recently. So remind everybody what you guys do.
Shudo Kan is a traditional karate school, and started here. I graduated from Eastern Illinois University with a BS degree in education in 1973. David Brownridge and I started the first commercial karate school, full-time school, September 4th, 1973. I'd already started graduate school. I knew I wanted to be a counselor, work a little closer with the kids and so forth. And so I moved here and started a graduate school at Sangamon State University, and just in and out of 7 different occupations over 50 years. I worked at Fiat Alice for 8 years. I worked for Military Naval Department. I worked as a state employee for the National Guard for a couple of years. Been a contractor for 40 years, unfortunately, which is still kind of the case. It's hard to sustain supporting a family and 2 or 3 kids on just a teacher's salary. My wife at the time was also a teacher, had a finishing her degree. But Springfield has just been good to us. I've always had my own businesses, either the construction We're just starting our 53rd year here in Springfield teaching karate.
Love it. So what kind of classes do you have at Shudo Kan?
We have 4 main levels. The first, we have these little guys we call ninjas, okay? 4, 5, and 6. I don't know how much martial arts we teach them, but they all look like little robots. I think they just want to wear the gi, the uniform, because it looks like Power Rangers, Rangers or Ninja Turtles. But that is a martial arts program. We're teaching them fitness, structure, kicks, punches, and blocks, but none of it is contact, none of it is competitive. A lot of them don't have the maturity yet to know, hey, if I punch at somebody and I strike somebody,
Right.
that's an issue. 6 to 8-year-olds, and then we have a 9 to 12-year-olds. Those are our samurais or our junior program. So at each level, we go a little bit longer. The little ninjas, 30 minutes is about their attention span. 45 for the next group. Your daughter and some of the ones that are higher trained and so forth, even though they're in that 11, 12, 13 age range, they're going to be there an hour and 15 minutes. And then finally, we have the teens and the adults. When I first came here, David Brownridge and I signed up 49 students the first month. We signed up 47 the next month. Now, the average of most traditional karate schools, what we call mom and pop clubs or part-time, if you got 75 to 100 students, you're great. And we did that in 2 months. We just happened to have a little leading advertising guy by the name of Bruce Lee.
That'll do it.
He hit the airwaves, and we didn't look back.
Right.
I mean, every person wanted to be a Bruce Lee and 10 E's a lesson. So we charged a whopping $39 a month for 4 days a week, 4 nights a week, and half a day on Saturday.
Sure.
Most of the students nowadays, because of all the other activities and our high-paced living style, we see them a couple times a week. Some of our advanced fighters that compete nationally or internationally or even locally. Bobby Hinchcliffe, 3-time national champion, fought on the U.S. national team in Japan with me in world championships. Very knowledgeable person, went on to be an MMA fighter, just super fitness guy. He's going to have somebody that's really focused on that. Jeff Jenkins been with me 40 years. He teaches every Tuesday and Thursday night. He and I co-teach and have for the last, 23, 24 years. And he also teaches Oriental weaponry, which is a lost art, comes directly from Okinawa. And then I have
that's so cool. I've seen him do some of that.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
He is. And not only that, but he doesn't travel. I've traveled literally all over the world. I've coached, competed, refereed at the national and international level for almost 40 years now. He never had the opportunity to travel like that, but he's just amazing. He's just like a sponge. So he'll go to a seminar and work with somebody and come back and while everybody else is waiting to get on, he's over there in the corner practicing and working. He's a great asset. And then one of my super ladies is, and your daughter and everybody else has come up with Mrs. E.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Emery. She's an English teacher at Springfield High School. She's been with me and running that program, participating for 23 years now. So she's kind of in charge of all the junior group. And then we had a super IT guy, came in and said he didn't do anything physical. He didn't know anything about martial arts. Turned out to be one of the best instructors we've got. Vernon Vincent.
Phenomenal, right?
Has been with us, got his black belt a little over a year ago. He's the super grandpa of everybody who walks in there. We get some unique students from time to time. We deal with a lot of kids with IEPs or 504s or maybe on the autism spectrum. Raised a beautiful young lady that was on the spectrum. He came through working with her all the way up until she got in high school, and he goes, man, I still love this. Is there's a chance I could help? And so that crew, those 4 people really are the foundation for Shudo Kan for, the last 25 years.
That's awesome. And most of the classes for like the kids and everything are on Tuesdays and Thursdays right
Tuesday
now,
and Thursday nights, and then we're getting ready to bring on a Wednesday night class. And then as soon as the time changes and people turn from outdoor sports and go to indoor sports, then we usually start a Saturday morning class. And that's open. I usually teach that. So I don't care if you're 6-year-old and want to bring your son, or if I got some of my senior guys, which uniquely is where we get a lot of a draw now. I mean, the professional magazines and marketers say One of the biggest groups that some people haven't touched is the retiring community, mid-50s and older. They're usually retired and they're
Right.
bored. They want to get out of the house or away from their spouse. They have money and they have time, and they always wanted to do this, but because of life's busyness, they never had time to spend 2-3 hours a week to stretch, to keep moving, to work around. They're not worried about seeing who can do a flying, spinning whammer jammer or break 10
Sure.
boards or go clean out the bar the next time somebody spills a drink on you. They just want to work. And that's a really neat group. So half of my adult class is over the age of 45.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, this is the wellness upgrade, and when you think martial arts, a lot of people think mind, body, and soul type
Absolutely.
of thing, right? So, how does health and wellness fit in with what you guys do at Shudokan?
Well, if you go back to the oldest martial arts was probably Tai Chi. There was a guy by the name of Badaduruma. He was an Indian guru, if you will. He traveled all the Himalayan mountains walking, got to northern China, came to the Shaolin Temple. He was the priest that was teaching all these guys. You're going to go out and be teaching Buddhism or Confucianism or Shintoism, and people are going to attack you. So he started an original set of exercises, the 18 hands of the I Ching. And then he basically taught that as a philosophy, meditation, breathing exercises. And then they studied a variety of different animals. And then as human beings, they would imitate. I'm tall and skinny. So when I studied Kung Fu, I was the crane.
Sure.
I can jump and kick and everything. The big, strong, powerful guys, like one of my black belts, Mark Bridges. He jokes that he's as wide as he is tall. By the way, he was Springfield PD for 3 decades or
Sure.
more and still teaches a multitude of classes. He's the dragon. You're not going to move him. He can walk through you. Guys like my sons, one of them is very fast and quick. He would be the leopard. My oldest son is more powerful, athletic in every way. He would be the tiger. And then you got the snake. Those are kind of the sneaky people that were deceptive and so forth. So they would teach these exercises. So all the time they were exercising and working out, they were also at the same time studying the self-defense aspect. And so most people, when they first came about looking for martial arts, they're thinking about not fitness as much as they do self-defense. Kids coming that are struggling with grades or distractions or maybe being bullied on the bus or at school, they're looking for a self-defense just to get confidence so they can stand up for themselves and realize you don't have to be bullied if it starts with a mindset.
Right.
Listen to you and Jeff talking there. I mean, everything starts with the mind. You accidentally get pushed. Self-defense has to become a reflex action. You don't have time to think under fire. Well, the next set that naturally went into military training. So the Chinese developed 2 things. One, they had sets of hand-to-hand combat and so forth, teaching kicks, punches, and blocks. So when you got in a fight back then, you might have a sword, you might have a spear. Gunpowder didn't come on until 400 or 500 years later. So
Right.
this was all hand-to-hand fighting. And then the other thing, you had wushu, which they combined for the young people coming up in and entering the military. Wushu is a combination of gymnastics and martial arts. Okay, that moves forward into the early 1600s, 1700s. These Chinese people, emissaries, would go throughout the world. They'd get blown up, shipwrecked on different oceans, and they'd end up on an island. Well, one of those islands happened to be the island of Okinawa. So the first formal karate that we know, karate means empty hand. We study and teach karate do, the way of the empty hand. That started in 1609. I got to train in Okinawa. I got to live in Okinawa. I got to stay there, understand the people, learn more about the language. And then I've been back to Japan and Okinawa 4 times since. So just understanding where the birthplace is. Also, you get to study with some of those old masters in their 80s and 90s and 100 years old. I can't touch them. And I'm 9-time national champion, 3-time All-American. The last match I lost was in the World Championships 4 years ago in Tokyo in a World Shito-Ryu Championship.
And I don't want to gloss over that.
Him.
So you heard him right. He said 9-time national champion.
Yes, sir.
That's phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal.
I had a great motivation. It's called a doctor by the name of Basilius Azarizhini. I had 5 knee surgeries in 16 months. And so I was always fitness, always training out. My number one training partner for 30 years, Dave Fazik. We grew up together. We started in judo together in 1968, cross-trained in karate. We were roommates in college, so we were traveling all over the country. We'd go to 15, 20 tournaments a year, wherever our pocketbooks would take us. Back then, if you had $30, you put $5 gas, $5 entry fee. You had $5 for food, and then you'd come home.
Right.
We lived to fight. I had been retired for 2.5 years. I spent 2.5 years either on crutches, teaching in a walker, teaching out of a wheelchair. Had a great support system then. Had good guys to come along, other black belts to help and teach. As long as I can talk, I can teach you how to teach. And then I came back. I was working with world champion, that my teacher, who was the coach of the U.S. national team, John Nene, late John Nene, brought Jeff Thompson over here from Great Britain. Most phenomenal athlete I'd ever seen in any sport. And so we were working out and training. He goes, man, he says, are you still fighting? I said, no, I got these knee op. He goes, no, dude. He goes, I train with people. There's a senior men's 35 and over. He goes, why aren't you doing in the senior division? I go, I don't fight those old guys. He goes, I'm 36. You're going to fight guys like me.
Mm-hmm.
I go, really? So I was kind of challenged, throw down there. And so I trained as part of my physical therapy. There's one particular kata that your daughter will do next for black belt competition called Sanchin, and it features low, strong stances. That's what I'm doing in therapy 5 days a week. Back then, they had this new drug called Vicodin.
Oh, sure.
So and it says right on there, do not take with alcohol and so forth. But I realized that if you took that with a Michelob after work, man, you could train all you wanted.
Sure.
Nothing hurt.
Right.
And I remember one of the interns that was in my kickboxing class said, oh, yeah, that's a happy drug. Well, we had no idea what that would do as far as being a type of psychotropic drug that could hook you. But I was legally conquering everything because I was addicted to a narcotic. And so I'm going, okay, this is no way to participate.
Right.
So when I set that goal to participate at the next national championship, then it was all about working out, staying clean, staying strong. I mean, working out 2 or 3 hours a night, four nights a week. And that then led me to the next level of fitness, which so many of the local coaches run into one of our athletes who's competed nationally or internationally, or even if they don't compete, the structure is still the same. And they go, man, that kid's always respectful. That kid doesn't worry about running sprints. That kid is flexible. He's got great lateral. How do you do this? I go, it's simply, you do something for 1,700 years, you pretty well get the bugs worked out of it.
Right.
So that, as far as fitness, we are building a foundation to put these athletes out. Garrett Beebe is a good example. Competed all over the country with us. Got to Pleasant Plains High School and super soccer kid. I mean, as soon as you get in a high school sport, I mean, you don't have a life. You're doing competitive stuff. You're doing summer workouts. You're going in early conditioning. You're doing plyometrics. You're lifting weights. You're doing everything to be in shape. Oh, by the way, we practice 5 days a week and watch films on Saturday morning. So you don't have a life again. Okay. But that is just one of those guys that excelled from, he started with us when 4 years old and worked all the way up and has just, now he's at SIUE doing great. He's had an opportunity for track scholarship, cross country scholarship, and was offered scholarships from 2 or 3 different schools. He's focused on studies.
Love it.
So that's the next level we see. Now, once karate got an opportunity to be on the Olympic format, in 1996, I was asked to participate with that group. And so now I get to train at the Olympic Training Center. I've taught there twice. I've refereed and chosen teams for the World Championships, judged both the kata side and the sparring side for our Pan American Championships, which will be actually November 7th, 8th, and 9th in Miami. So everybody in the North American continent comes there from Central South America, Canada. We all get together, compete, and we field a team that goes to the World Championships. So that is a level of fitness that it's just out of reach. Now, the next thing comes along, everybody wants to be an MMA fighter.
Right.
Fantastic. Just no sport's growing faster than that in a 20-year span. I don't think in the history of sports. Okay,
exploded. I mean, just absolutely exploded.
Absolutely. It used to be our primary. 80% of our clientele was that 15 to 34-year-old. Come fight, go. We wear pads. We're not doing full contact. We're controlling technique, but it is physical. It's still a fight. Everybody goes, oh, man, MMA, that's cool. Right until you get poked in the nose first time.
Right.
So I kickboxed in the late 70s. All of a sudden, I realized it hurt when I won, hurt when I lost, hurt when I trained. And I started karate not to get beat up. What's wrong with it? So Dave Fasey and I could go win some tournament, come home, and he'd beat me like a mule that wouldn't move for 45 minutes. And I go, okay, I got it. Let's stay to the sport aspect. Next wave that came along as far as fitness, Taibo. Billy Blanks, a lot of people don't know. He won silver medal in the world championship, but there was one other guy by the name of Toki Hill, a good personal friend of mine, won gold medal, and he got most of the glory for all of that and the sponsorships and everything. But he convinced people to just watch what we do and mimic these movements and get your heart rate up 130 to 40 beats a minute for 40 to 50 minutes, and you're going to get in shape and you're going to shed pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy revolutionized. When I started a fitness program here with Nick Reeder, his wife was a dancer, and so we put something together that was similar to what we had. We signed up 105 people in the first 6 weeks, and I was teaching 11 classes a week. And I got a $4,000 month raise because we were charging $40 a month, and here they came. And we rode that for about 5 years. And I still see some of those people, Robert, and they're not doing kickboxing. Maybe they're just walking with a club. Maybe they're doing pickleball now. But what it really changed is those people saw the value of their life when they were fit, when they are less stressed, because exercise creates this phenomenal drug called endorphins that eliminates cortisol, that helps the brain go, hey, we're okay. A lot of my students then, my adult class, I've got the vice president of Henson Robin, Steve Huddle, been with me 25 years, started with his son. I've got doctors, I've got lawyers, I have unemployed carpenters, I have farmers. And the best thing they say it is about the martial art is not the exercise, being around some positive and motive people.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no negativity in there. There's no, I'm going to see if I can beat you. It's not competitive. They just say, I get a mental break for an hour and 15 minutes. You tell me when to line up, when to stretch, when to bow, when to breathe, when to get a drink, and so forth. And he goes, I come out of there, and it's like I've been on vacation for 2 days. Mm-hmm. And then they go right back the next day into multitasking, brain stretching challenges with their daily life. Or my son has 3 daughters. We got a 3.5-year-old granddaughter, we got a 9-year-old, and we got a 15-year-old who's learning to drive. So every level a parent has in stress, they're going through, whether it's potty training or having to drive a car with them because they're about to get their driver's lesson. And a 9-year-old, she just wants to be like her 15-year-old sisters. Talk about stress. Raising a family is about as stressful as you get.
You said no negativity. I love that. And I don't know if you noticed, but I wear a no negativity allowed bracelet every single day. I'm going to give you one of those. You can catch one of those too.
Well, my late mentor, he graduated from the 8th grade, and his brothers, they all grew up in Arkansas, and they'd come in, they'd say, you, and you, come on. They'd get on a boxcar, and they'd go pick cotton. And so he realized what hard work was. He got his GED in the Navy. He started studying karate when he got stationed in Japan. He could outwork anybody. So they want to work out 8 hours, he could do 8 hours. They want to work 12 hours, he could do 12 hours. Okay? But he wrote a book called The Motivation of a Karate Master. And the principle on that whole book, and I had the honor to co-write it with him, was you're a product of the way you think. If you want to change who or what you are to something you want to become, you have to alter the way you think. And there's no room for negativity. He had 3 words he'd never let us use: if, impossible, or never. Now, within reason, I'm not going to go out here and lift up the corner of this building.
Right.
And at 158 pounds and 73 years old, I'm not going to be an NFL wide receiver. Okay, but responsibly, when I say can't, I've already defeated myself. Well, if I was a Democrat, if I was a Republican, if I was this, if I my parent, you can always find an excuse for failure.
Right.
And then impossible. I mean, who'd have thought we actually could go and rescue all those people in a foreign country that have been held hostage for 400 days? No, that'll never happen. There's no way. There's no such thing as impossible if you're willing to go to the mat, what we call. Go to the 10 count. I was blessed with a great work ethic because I had a father that worked in the oil fields for 85 cents an hour. As soon as he graduated from high school, retired 39 years later, Marathon Oil. Now, we moved 7 times for his job. He was a manager of Great Lakes Division, Products Division, with a high school education. Nothing's impossible if you're willing to put forth the effort.
I love it. Yeah, I love how you said hit the mat. I like to say hit the wall.
Yep.
You got to hit the wall.
Yep.
100%
And you
hit
know
the
what?
wall.
Every time you hit the wall, it gets farther away.
That's right. It does, doesn't it?
Every time you hit the mat,
Yep.
man, throw me on the mat because I bounce up faster.
Right.
Until you got knocked down. I tell everybody, if you're going to fail, I've failed numerous times, fail forward.
That's right.
Okay?
No doubt about it.
And no excuses.
Well, Sensei Dennis, Mr. D, whatever you want me to call you here, let's close with this. You've been a world-class athlete in your space. You've taught folks for over 50 years in this space. Give us 2 quick tips for folks out there to help elevate their health and wellness.
I've had 3 strokes, and great medical community has helped me survive those. The sooner you get up and get moving, your blood circulates, you start to recover. So move. Okay, a good friend of mine, Joe and Jill Teal, that were fitness instructors here for, gosh, almost 40 decades, went to church with them at Cokie Mill Christian Church. Joe said the number 1 medication you can have is move, but you got to get your heart rate up a little bit. You got to break a sweat a little bit. And it can be walking to the mailbox. I remember I think it was Zig Ziglar says when he first went on an exercise program, he ran 3 mailboxes. And the next day he ran 4 mailboxes. And he goes, I didn't realize I wasn't going more than about 200 yards. I just went for 1 more mailbox, 1 more bout every week, and so forth. And then he got to where he was running, half marathons and so forth. Second thing, don't give up. The only way you can lose is give up. Because whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
That is true. Love it. Love it. Now, both of those absolutely move. We've had a couple of people on here before said movement is medicine. Sitting is the new smoking. Let's move. Come on, folks. Let's go.
One of my best friends from all over the world, we've coached and refereed all over, and he has a sign on his office door, and he has over 300 students now. And he's probably got the biggest school in St. Louis County. And he goes, and mediocre plan working is better than the best plan on the shelf. If you're in business and you want to motivate yourself, you always say, man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Zig Ziglar again had that little round wooden thing and said, get around to it. He'd go, here's your get around to it. Say, I'm going to get around to that someday. Move toward a direction that's higher than where you're at.
Let's go, Springfield. Let's get around to it. Well, Doug, appreciate you spending some time with me today. It was fun.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, we're going to let Doug get back to elevating Springfield, but for the rest of y'all, we'll be right back.
Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at sangamontreeservice.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.
Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hope you're enjoying these quick hits of actionable strategies here on the Wellness Upgrade on Elevate Springfield. Thank you again to Shudo Kan Karate Club. Hey, take what you learned today, You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great. Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agent, is here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343